Okay. For the multitude of club umpires we've got here, appreciate you coming, which is fantastic. The idea of getting club umpires here is to help educate and provide some support for you guys as well, not just our official VSDCUA umpires. So we want to continue to educate and give you information that will help you to officiate to the best of your ability as well. So there's a sheet here on decision making of LBWs, which is always rears its head, and there's also a double-sided interruption to play for a 2-day match and the process about what you do for a 1-day game. So there's both of those documents are there. Please make sure you have a read of those in your own time. And that's just for information to help with work whether if this happens you do this, if this happens you do that. It gives you a pretty good guide, okay, where it's at. So once you read it a couple of times and then you'll start to go, oh yeah, this is how it works. Works really well. Well, Warren, if you could fill this one in for me, please. Put his name on the top. And when you're ready. Okay, the idea of tonight is twofold. Not only with club umpires, but with our first and second year umpires, is just to find out how you're going, how you're settling in. Is there something that you've got on your mind that you wouldn't mind talking about? Something that you can give us feedback on, especially myself. James Barry is the president here anyway. Is there something about the Umpires Association you want to give feedback on? James will take that on board. So it's important for you to just tell us how you think you're going and how else we can help you, because you'll notice to your right we've got Michael Moore here who's videoing what we're doing. And the idea of this video will be put up on the Umpires Association website, and so that people can go and have a look about what we're doing. The handouts have been given, I'm going to give to Michael Moore, and he will also post them up on the website. So other club umpires, other first, second year umpires that haven't been able to make it tonight will be able to go in and, can they print them out, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, can print them out and then have a go, especially like the no ball one, all those sort of things. So it's all about education, knowledge, and trying to help people. The other thing, especially for the club umpires, the little bit of feedback I've had from a number of clubs is, whilst you're with a club, it's really hard umpiring your own club, because more times than not, you're on a hide than another. You give a decision, you're going to agree with someone. Jeff Hart, Dr. Hart, who I should introduce you to, stand up please. If you don't know Dr. Hart, is the vice president on the VSDCA, and also the governing of all our rules. And also, Jeff's been club umpire with Williamstown for 10 years, or around about. So it's really important to understand that what we want you to do, when you walk out on the ground, you're totally independent. So your mind should not be worrying about whether my club is going to be agreed if I give a decision or don't give a decision, because you go on, which the blokes, all the other guys know at my sessions, I always talk about, you go on the evidence. What you see and what you hear, or don't hear, or don't see. That's your evidence that produces for you to be able to make a decision. Because there's many times, and it's happened to me twice in my career, where a ball, I've heard a snick, but I can see the ball, and twice I've had it snick the off stump and not knock the ball off. And it comes through from the back because the ball travels there pretty quickly, they catch it and appeal. The same not out, they feel aggrieved. But it's happened twice to me in my career. And there's going to be other times where, and Dory will back this up, a batsman will make a play, hear a noise, but he's missed it by some margin. That's why it's important, especially at the bowler's end, to watch the ball and be able to pick up the ball in flight to be able to see. I've seen many times where there's a gap between bat and ball, not a lot, a bit of daylight. You know he hasn't hit it, but you hear a stick or you hear a noise. Not a flick the ground, it's flick the pad. So you've got to go on the evidence. That's why it's important. Concentration is really, really important. And I'm going to give you another handout to help you with concentration. Because it's one of our biggest things as umpires. When we start, most of us start around 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock, 12:30 or 6:30, whatever it is. It's a long time to concentrate. And especially if you're one out, going both ends, your concentration's got to be utmost. And there's a number of factors that can help you with your concentration. And I've got a sheet that'll help you with some of the things that I'm sure you'll resonate with you about. Yeah, that's right, I do that. Because it's real easy to drift away and all because there's a lull in the game, not a lot happening, and we just relax that moment. Something happens, crikey, I missed it. It can happen in an instant. So we've got to be on our mind on the job 100% of the time when needed. It's important when, even if you're a club umpire and you're umpiring on your own, from walking from this end to that end, you can switch off a little bit. Just okay, just relax, walking around, deep breaths, right, get down, right, mind on the job again. When you've got two umpires and an umpire's you're going to go to square leg, you can relax a little bit, let your mate take over, and then as soon as the ball comes in, you're up to speed again. One of the things I found really important is my shoulders, where I go down, back on. I switch myself on. That's how I do it. You might find something else. But there's ways of switching on and off at the right times that come with practice and experience. So that sheet is designed to try and help with that. I'll give it out very shortly. So let me put it over to you guys. Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Club umpires, whether it is a bit of a difficulty one on your own club, because you're on to nothing sometimes, especially if you know the players really well. But if you take that focus about you're just an umpire, and I mean that just in the right context, and you're there to adjudicate on the evidence of what you see and what you hear, and if you take that philosophy all the time, you'll make less mistakes and you won't worry about what other people think. Because I'll give you a bit of a philosophy lesson. What other people think of you is none of your business. Make sense? What other people think of you is none of your business. So if they think you're a good umpire, they think you're an average umpire, they think you're a bad umpire, it's none of your business. You're there to do a job. So we can't worry about what we can't control. So make sure that you focus on what you need to focus on. And that helps you to be, something that I've always said, to be the best umpire you can be. And the best umpire is someone who's got pride in their job, takes it seriously to do the best they can, and you are going to make mistakes. But that doesn't mean you're biased one way or the other, even though some clubs do. You know, so is there anything else now? I've got a few other things that I'll stop talking for a minute. Is there anything at all that anyone would like to raise and talk about? You look like you have something on your mind.
No, it's funny when you say sometimes it's hard when you're umpiring your own club. It's even harder when you're umpiring your own son.
Yeah.
Who I gave that LB the other week.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the match said, it's okay, Dad, I was plumb.
How good is that?
But I do let the captain of the opposition team know that is my son coming out to either when he's batting or bowling, just as a polite way.
Yeah.
Just so they can...
Be transparent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, good on you. But it is difficult, isn't it? I get that.
Oh.
But what I'm pleased about, you obviously, when you were adjudicating officiating, you didn't look at him as your son. You went, yeah, the ball's hit that batsman there, I've got to give that out. And that's the right way to go about it. You know, it is what it is.
Especially when they're captain's bowling.
Yeah. What about you, Carl? You got anything at all that you might want to...
Oh, just clarification on a rule. Like the very first game I had, it was a bit wet, and the spinner bowled it, and it bounced twice. And the batsman, he hit it back to the bowler, and luckily he dropped it. But I was sort of in two minds whether it was a no ball or not.
Yeah, under the new law, if it bounces twice, it's a no ball. Yeah, and that's new.
Run straight on the ground.
If it runs straight on the ground, it's bounced more than once. I'll be fine, but brothers like that, hits them just rolls on the ground, we call it no ball.
The rule actually says bounces twice, ball runs on the ground.
Yeah. So it is a no ball.
Clarification that if the ball hits and rolls, it's actually only bounced twice, and that's a continuation of the bounce.
Yeah, that's why it's in the law about rubbing or running.
So is it a no ball or a dead ball?
No ball.
No ball. Okay. So it's no fault of the bowlers. It's just
No, it's just might hit something in the pitch, or you know, it's a bit damp or something out. But it's a no ball. He's just got to bowl it again.
Then it's one run to the batting team.
Because when you think of it, it's an unfair delivery, isn't it? Not the bowler's fault. It's unfair because the pitch, whatever happened. So that's why. Because it's in the law saying it's an no ball. Right. I had one on Saturday, I'll tell you, where captain from Moorabbin actually was bowling. His back foot flicked the stumps. I pulled no ball. He said, "Oh, where's my foot?" It had nothing to do with flicking the stumps. He didn't know. Now, even though I set the laws out at the beginning of the season, he said he'd never done it before. He goes pretty close. He didn't know it was a no ball. He goes, "Oh, it should be a dead ball." I said, "Mate, what it should be, I can't argue. What I can tell you is what it is. It's a no ball." You go, no, crikey, so you move a little bit away from the sun, you do it again. So, you know, you're going to get those sort of things. So, yeah, but what I'm encouraging you to do, and the idea of tonight, is anything that happens like that in a game, don't hesitate to either ring me on a Saturday night or Sunday. I'll always return your call and ask the question, or flick me an email. Don't wait until, you know, you finally find out or become sure down the track, because it might happen the second week, you know, or the very next game. So if it's something on your mind you're not sure about, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the guru. I don't know every rule and law. I might have to look up something that might not happen often. Most of them I reckon I would know. But we've got to make sure that we go by, because there's so many laws that have changed. There's bylaws that have changed. So we've got to make sure that that's why the handbook every year is your Bible. It really is. Yeah, we're ready to do that. And if you've got an idea or thought on that, you want to put in writing, you send that to your committee, through James, through the Umpires Association, and they can take that, present that, the Doggy and I can coordinate. So there's a number of areas that we think we can make it simpler, easier and better, and we're going to continue to work to make things that way.
I'll just add, Benny, that every year there's a rules revision committee. So we take, and Brian's on that committee with me and 2 or 3 other people. So each year we take submissions from the Umpires Association. So James is executive in sending submissions, and I think we'll find this year that Benny and John will provide some more submissions there. So as Brian said, if anybody's got some suggestions or how to simplify things, we'd welcome them.
Yeah, one I would suggest is that each main section of the rules starts off with a preamble, just a plain Jane English summary of what those rules are attempting to describe. It doesn't need to be rewritten in writing.
Yeah. I mean, those ideas are great. Sometimes we don't want war and peace.
Exactly.
You know, so you need to be careful. I mean, the book itself is reasonably thick, so if you sort of double it with a lot more words. And the other thing I worry about sometimes with the preamble, because I'm doing that with my job, is people focus on that and not the rule of the law. And then it can be. But all ideas will be taken on board, so yes.
You may be aware that the Tax Act was 3,000 pages, and people have attempted to simplify that to the point where it's now 18,000. So you might have trouble carrying it.
Benny, just on that, I think if anybody has something, a problem with a part or a clause or something, send through that piece in page number 19 on 567. We don't understand it. If you send that through, then we've got something to work with. That's probably the easiest thing.
Yeah, correct. So
I went onto the My Cricket website and did the accreditation thing.
Just a quick clarification on dangerous balls that are bowled, I'll say chest height, because then there can be no doubt that that's a no ball.
yeah.
One is going to hit the batsman, he gets his bat up and deflects it away. So I would go to the bowler and then tell the captain that that's one dangerous ball, he bowls another one of those. So the next over he bowls another full toss with chest height, but he's just probably just over half a metre away, probably close to the one-day tram line there. Now to me, that is not going to hit the batsman, it's still no ball, but I wouldn't take the bowler out of play because it's not going to hit the batsman.
The way you've explained it is exactly right. Now, dangerous means that the batsman feels in danger or could possibly be in danger because of that ball. So if it's still above the height that it's supposed to be, but it's going to miss the batsman, you don't have to worry about it, then it's, again, you'd have a pretty good chat to the bowler about, listen, you need to understand the law and where it is, but you do that in a nice, amicable way. But you're right. It's like anything. The difficulty you have as an umpire is you've got to go on what you see and what you hear as evidence, again, to be able to determine to make a decision. And we've always got to make sure we protect the batsman as best as possible. If those sort of things, especially to a medium pace or a fast bowler, where a batsman like, wow, had to get out of the way, otherwise would have been hit, and deemed it to be dangerous. No, but the way you explain it's pretty
The
right.
confusion was that I think in one of the women's BBL games, that one of the bowls was taken off because it was just simply two above waist, no balls. Like the second one wasn't going to hit up.
Yeah.
But it's when
Yeah.
they see it on television, so they then try and apply it to their games on Saturday.
Yeah, get that. Okay. Anything else?
Just talking about BBL, all the BBL umpires and the test umpires, all call above the head wide. So they're incorrect with the rules as they are, but they may have some local conditions to call it a wide, I don't know.
Yeah, the law now clearly specifies that a ball that bounces a short pitch delivery to a batsman who would have been standing upright, in the upright position, it goes between over the shoulder, but within that sort of region there, then they get one warning as a short pitch delivery. One day game they get what? How many warnings? They get one. I've got my finger at one. One in a one-day game. So if they bowl a second one in the same over, it's a no ball. In 2-day game they get 2 they can bowl short pitch deliveries. Now, if they bowl a short pitch delivery, and like I saw on the BBL just the other night, it goes above their head there. That's not a wide. They're all no balls and should be called accordingly. Now, even if a batsman who wants to play a hook shot and the ball's up here and going over his head there, and he wants to throw the bat at it, and he does, and it goes down to final leg, still a no ball. He can still get caught. If you don't call it and he gets caught, then caught off a no ball. The law says above the head there, and anywhere above, is a no ball. So just because he hit it doesn't cancel the no ball. It's a no ball.
So if he gets caught, he's not out.
Make sure you call it though.
Yeah.
If you call it no ball, you can't. So that's really important.
Is that one day and
Yep.
to that test cricket?
Yep.
What about test cricket?
To be very frank and honest with you, I couldn't give a rat's about test cricket.
No.
Because what we do, because it's a law of cricket. So they should be playing. But the BBL, Dougie already said, they're for some reason still calling above their wides. I don't know why, but it might be something they've introduced for some reason, but ours we're calling it no. Well, they could well do, I don't know.
Don't believe everything you see on TV.
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, I don't want to keep it too much longer, but I've got a few handouts I want to give. This one is the one that I spoke about to try and help you with concentration. It's double-sided, so make sure you have a good read of it, and try real hard to try and adopt some of these things that just might help you. Everyone's different. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. We got one there. That's good. You don't need one. This is a relatively new document. Now, what it says, be aware and alert. That's how it helps you with concentration. One of the biggest issues we have in our game as umpires is concentration. If you drop your concentration, that's when errors more than likely are going to occur. So it just talks about certain things, like the first ball of a match. Happened to me 3 or 4 years ago. Very first ball of the match, big appeal for LBW. Oh, crikey, was I ready for that? Because I switched on for the first ball. Because what happens more times than not? The bowler's not bowling full pace, he's just getting his warm up. All of a sudden the first ball can happen. So you need to be switched on right from the go. And as I said, these are the times when concentration lapses occur most. First over of the match, not just the first ball, it could be the second ball, third ball. So in that first over, anything can happen. First ball, first over to a batsman of a new bowler. Etc, etc. Quick bowlers who are prone to no balling. Now I'll give you a little tip, I've mentioned it a number of times to our umpires. Really important, we've got a lot of umpires who move their head. So if you're looking down here at the crease line looking for no ball and you're doing that, apart from getting a headache at the end of the day, you're not going to pick up the ball. Try to keep your head as still as humanly possible, eyes only. Comes with practice, not easy, because you'll have a propensity to do that. What I suggest you do, get your mate at square leg to let you know, and just say, am I moving my head when I'm watching the crease line? Because if you can stop moving your head and just use your eyes, it will help you enormously. It really will. You know, we've got some umpires when they're trying to give guard, so they stand at the wicket and they're bending over and doing this. No need to bend over. You can see the centre stump. You can see the centre stump down there. Just give it from a standing upright position. The other thing I'll give you a bit of advice on, repeat back to the batsman what they ask for. I'll have 2 centres, please, Benny. 2 centres, mate. I'll have 1 leg, please. That's 1 leg. Leg stump, 1 leg. Repeat back to what they ask. If somebody says to you, can I have centre the leg? And you go, yep, leg stump. You know, that's not what I asked for. Repeat back what they asked for. Because even if you've got it wrong, they think you've got it right. Who knows what centre the leg is? Or who doesn't know what centre the leg is? Okay. One that's a funny one for me, I don't understand when a batsman comes in and he puts his bat and he says, centre please, and he's on an angle like this and the umpire then says, straighten your handle. Why? Where's the centre? On the ground where he's looking for. How do they bat? On an angle. Straighten the handle, but nothing to do with where the centre is. It's the bottom of the bat. So if he's got his bottom of the bat there on centre, and he's got an angle like this, and he's got the bottom in it, that's centre. That's all you need to worry about. It's an old adage about straighten the handle.
If he straightens the hand,
He doesn't need to straighten the handle. The bottom of the bat is where the centre is of the ground.
It is a bigger reference point, though.
Yeah, it can be, but don't need it. Now, I don't want to go through this point by point, but it talks about all these sort of things that help you with concentration. And I found over the years by this document, it's helped me enormously. So hopefully it will help you as well.
Benny, just one that happens a lot when there's the change of innings on the first day. You might have 10 to 15 overs to bowl. Team 2 comes out all fired up, and it could be the last couple of balls of the day. They change the bowl, and suddenly there's a huge shout for an LB or a court, and you go, it really, because the players will put everything on you at that stage to actually look for a decision that might be right. So, do you want to just go through that, Ben?
Oh yeah, well it's exactly as you said it. I mean it's really important from a concentration viewpoint about that very point. So can you pass those couple around the back, please? Now this one is the one that I call the real Bible for me. Have you seen this one? Alright, but this one, it says, practical component of umpiring cricket. An umpire completes many actions, activities during the course of a match. Now, it's quite extensive. It's got a lot of information there that talks about, you know, bowlers and umpire positions, stance, movement. It talks about, you know, focus and concentration, appeals, decisions, calls, signals, communication. General, the guard, which I've got there, strikers and umpire at square leg, talks about how to go about that. It gives you a lot of practical information. It's a practical document that helps you in a practical sense. Okay? And I found this document is the one that helps me enormously. So I recommend you have a good read of it. If there's something in there that you're not sure about, needs clarification or whatever, flick me an email. If you ring me, you're likely to catch me out driving in the car or whatever, I won't be able to find out exactly. So email is probably best. Just send me an email and say, in your document page 4, this bit, can you clarify, or whatever. But for me, I take this every Saturday to my game, and before I get out of the car, I can say, oh, what am I going to focus on today? Oh, that's right, I've got to focus on, or whatever it is. So it's just a document to try and help you to basically be the best umpire you can be with some practical information and techniques. Okay? Anything else? Any queries? Any questions? Anything at all you want to raise?
I went onto the My Cricket website and there's a accreditation thing.
Yep.
Paid for $45, did the online bit, told I would be contacted. Never heard of it.
I'll tell you what's happening with Cricket Victoria. Richard Patterson, who was the umpire man at Cricket Victoria, was fantastic, attention to detail, etc. He got promoted to Cricket Australia, who are currently working, and they've engaged a brand new Cricket Victoria manager. I rang Richard Patterson, as a matter of fact, Monday morning, and said, what's happening with the new position? I would expect that that new person would have sent out to all the communities, because that's their job, about accreditation, introduce himself, how can I help you, da 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 da. We've heard nothing. Not one thing has come across. So I've already got the accreditation sheet ready that I've got from Richard, and we've got a number of umpires that need to be re-accredited. And there's some umpires now that are not accredited, simply because the new guy hasn't been communicating. So Richard's going to follow it up for me, because I don't know who it is, James or Scott or somebody. But they've got a new person who's supposed to be there helping us at community, not just our comp, but all comps around Victoria in making sure that we're adhering to all these requirements. So I've got documents, re-accreditation documents ready to hand in, all that sort of thing. So the online component is something that should have been sent out to us to help us. Because I wrote to Richard before Christmas about new umpires, etc., and we haven't had any joy in it. So I've rang and spoken to Richard. Yeah, look, it's disappointing because, you know, they, Cricket Victoria in particular, Cricket Australia, say we have to be accredited, but they're not helping us. They've got a new guy. To his defence, I was told, oh, he's got this, he's got that, or whatever, but it's still his job. But I'm on to it, trust me. Anything else, guys? Conscious of time. All right, now there's a fair bit of information I've given out tonight. I'm going to have a look at your no ball sheet, and I've got your name, and I'll certainly be in contact and let you know whether you got them all right or you didn't, because it's important for knowledge and information. The first and second umpires have filled out those sheets. I'll have a read of them, and if there's something there that we can pick up to help you with, we'll certainly do that, but I'll be in contact with you. For you guys, you still need to sign in before you've done that. Good. So I really appreciate you coming. I hope you got something out of it, but tonight was more about you giving me feedback, anything, information. Really good that Dr. Hart's here. He comes to all these sort of meetings. He's taken some notes already about certain things, and let me reassure you, the VSDCA are really keen and will support all umpires to do and be the best they can be for the benefit of our competition. That's what it's all about. So I really appreciate that. You want to say that?
Just to add to that, Benny, from the board, the Subby board, particularly to the club umpires, thanks so much for your contribution. We need you guys, we value your contribution. And to the first and second year panel umpires, thanks for joining the association. One thing that does sometimes come across the desk as a club umpire and cricket operations manager, very, very occasionally, club umpires may be accused of being biased. Now, they often may tell us we're bad umpires, we don't quite know what we're doing. But what I would like to know is if any one of you club umpires is accused of something more, and I'm alluding to being biased in a cheating fashion, please contact me, because that's something that we will not be tolerating. We want our games run on the spirit of cricket. Part of the spirit of cricket is respect for the umpire, and the club umpire deserves exactly the same respect as our panel umpire. So if you are subjected to that, we want to know.
Yeah, I want to know about it as well.
Yeah.
And just so you know, on the captain's feedback, there was I forget now to be honest, it was third 11 or fourth 11. The captain put in there that the opposition club umpire was a cheat. That's what he wrote in there. So I left it for a few days. Towards the end of the week, I then rang him and I said, you know what I'm ringing you about? He goes, oh yeah, it's probably my comment. I said, if you had your time over again, he goes, yeah, Benny. He said, that was terrible of me. I was emotional at the end of the day. He went in and did it, you know, pretty well immediately after the game, whenever he got that opportunity. And he said, I said and did the wrong thing. Because I said, made clear to him, mate, if you believe any umpire is not umpiring correctly, as they should in a fair manner, you let us know. I'll take it up to the VSDCA and we'll address it. But don't go putting there and causing someone to cheat when you're not sure whether he is or he isn't, and you just feel because you've got heart done by a decision, you want to pull someone to cheat. So we won't tolerate it, but I asked him 3 times, do you want me to follow this up and pursue it? And 3 times he said no. So that's what can happen without you even knowing it sometimes. So I spoke to Ken Hilton about it, and we certainly will support you in all those sort of factors. That's why I say it's important to officiate to the best of your ability based on independency and providing to see go on what the evidence is, which is important.
Just, I find it's difficult to make a basically a suspect action with the opposition. I find that difficult to sort of call it for tracking or...
No, we don't do that.
Well, no, do it, but
no, in the subbies, if any umpire believes there's a suspect action, then you would write to the Secretary of the VSDCA and say that a bowler from Moorabbin should be looked at, in my opinion, because I believe he's got a suspect action, and let the VSDCA do it. That's it. We don't get any more involved in that. That's it. And it's in the book. Anything else quickly, because we've got the association meeting?
We've got little contact details.
Yeah, it's on the website, the Umpires Association website. It's also on the VSDCA website. It's also in the handbook. Okay, guys, thanks very much. More than welcome to stay for the association meeting. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Benny.